We got the 20, is it a 20-point plan or 21? What the fuck? Where's the plan? Holy shit, just watch it. Fuck me. Breaking news! Breaking news. Breaking news. Stop talking. Shut up. All rise? No.
Thank you very much, everybody.
USA.
So this is a big, big day, a beautiful day, potentially one of the great days ever in civilization.
One of the great days
things that
ever
have
in civilization. Okay.
Been going on for hundreds of years and thousands of years. We're going to, at least we're at a minimum very, very close, and I think we're beyond very close. And I want to thank Bibi for really getting in there and doing a job. We've worked well together, as we have with many other countries, both of us, with many other countries, which is the only way this whole situation gets solved. And I'm not just talking about Gaza. Gaza is one thing, but we're talking about much beyond Gaza. The whole deal, everything getting solved. It's called peace in the Middle East.
Oh, yeah?
So today is a historic day for peace, and Prime Minister Netanyahu and I have just concluded an important meeting on many vital issues, including...
Not to poison the well, but this is just him announcing a proposal, isn't it? Like, we don't know if he's actually going to do it. That is what I... Just to be clear, we're just watching him announcing a proposal, right? Like, this is just like Egypt doing it, but with more pomp. Correct?
Iran, trade, the expansion of the Avraham Accords.
The what?
And most importantly, we discussed how to end the war in Gaza, but it's just a part of the bigger picture, which is peace in the Middle East. And let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East.
Whoa.
So this is far more than anybody expected, but the level of support that I've had from the nations in the Middle East and surrounding Israel and neighbors of Israel has been incredible. Incredible. Every single one of them. This afternoon, after extensive consultation with our friends and partners throughout the region, I'm formally releasing our principles for peace, which people have really liked, I must say. And these are done not just routinely done, these are done with total consideration and working with the nations that we're talking about. All of these nations have made contributions to those suggestions. I want to thank the leaders of many Arab and Muslim nations for their tremendous support in developing the proposal, along with many of our allies in Europe. Europe has been very much involved, and as I was called by many of the European leaders, most of them saying, is this true? Are you really doing peace in the Middle East? This is the most incredible thing we've heard.
Beautiful.
Some think it's the biggest thing
Like
they've ever
never
heard.
seen.
They called just to find out, was it just a rumor or is it actually done? And then they said, have you spoken to the Arab leaders? Have you spoken to all of the other leaders that we have to get? A lot of people involved in this one. I also want to thank Prime Minister Netanyahu for agreeing to the plan and for trusting that if we work together, we can bring an end to the death and destruction that we've seen for so many years, decades, even centuries, and begin a new chapter of security, peace, and prosperity for the entire region. And I want to just say that my meetings and dialogue that we had with so many countries, Saudi Arabia as an example, the king is a phenomenal person. The Emir of Qatar, he's incredible people. UAE, and that's MBZ and ABZ. We're totally involved. These are the people that we've been dealing with and who've been actually very much involved in this negotiation, giving us ideas, things they can live with, things they can't live with. Pretty complex.
Pretty
I mean,
complex,
after
yes.
2,000, 3,000 years, whatever it is, I guess it's got to be a little complex. It would have been done a long time ago.
Yeah, true.
The
Can't
King
argue
of
that.
Jordan was with us, as you know, in the United Nations. The President of Turkey, President Erdogan, is a friend of mine, a strong man, but a good man. President of Indonesia, somebody who's an amazing leader, Prabowo. He is an amazing leader and respected by everybody. He was in the room with us. We were together with most of these people that I'm mentioning. Others were by phone or the next day. The Prime Minister and the Field Marshal of Pakistan, they were with us right from the beginning. Incredible. In fact, they just put out a statement that they fully believe in this pact. It just came out just as I was walking around. They said, sir, you have a big notice from the Prime Minister of Pakistan and from the Field Marshal that they back this 100%. President El-Sisi of Egypt, who's terrific. And these are people I've gotten to know over the years. I mean, I would say it started around 2015 and then went into 2016 when the presidency officially began. But I've known him actually for a long time, and there are many cases really great men. I can't say in all cases, but I will tell you, in many cases, they're great men. And some great women, too. Ooh. They tend to be mostly men, however. I will say that.
Yeah.
But if accepted by Hamas, this proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case more than 72 hours.
2 weeks.
So the hostages are coming back, and
oh, really?
I hate even saying this from the standpoint, doesn't sound right, but it is so important to the parents. The bodies of the young men.
Wait, he said that this has actually been accepted by Hamas. Is that what he's reporting there? Let me see.
And is immediately, but in no case. I've known him actually for a long time, and there are many cases really great men. I can't say in all cases, but I will tell you, in many cases, they're great men.
Great men.
And some great women, too. Oh. They tend to be mostly men, however. I will say that. But if accepted by Hamas, this proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case more than 72 hours. So the hostages are coming back, and I hate even saying this from the standpoint, doesn't sound right, but it is so important to the parents. Right. The bodies of the young men, I believe in almost all cases, the young men are coming back immediately. I met with parents. The parents felt as strongly about getting the body of their dead boy back as they did as though the boy were alive and well. It's so important to them. And it means the immediate end to the war itself, not just Gaza. It's the war itself. Under the plan, Arab and Muslim countries have committed, and in writing in many cases, but I actually would take their word for it. The people I mentioned, I'd take their word for it, to demilitarize Gaza, and that's quickly.
Okay.
Decommission the military capabilities of Hamas and all other terror organizations. Do that immediately. And we're relying on the countries that I named and others to deal with Hamas. And I'm hearing that Hamas wants to get this done too, and that's a good thing. And destroy all terror infrastructure, including the tunnels, weapons.
Remember that interview with Ghazi Hamad talking to CNN? He, even in that interview, said that the weapons stay with Hamas because they're legal and moral and all that. Like, yeah, they don't want to give up their weapons. So, just so you know, unless there's a change, that's the last we've heard from him.
Production facilities. They have a lot of production facilities that we're destroying. They'll also help train local police forces in the areas that we're discussing right now, in particular in and around Gaza. Working with the new transitional authority in Gaza, all parties will agree on a timeline for Israeli forces to withdraw in phases. They'll be withdrawing in phases. No more shooting, hopefully, as progress is made toward achieving these goals. Arab and Muslim nations need to be allowed the chance to fulfill these commitments of dealing with Hamas. They have to deal with them because they were the one group that we have not dealt with. I haven't dealt with them. But the Arab countries are going to, and Muslim countries are going to be dealing with Hamas, and I believe they've already been there. I think they probably have an understanding, and they haven't maybe mentioned that, but I would imagine they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone as far as they've gone. If they're unable to do so, then Israel would have the absolute right and actually our full backing, the U.S. full backing. Marco's here, and a lot of our leaders are here, our great Vice President, Susie Wiles, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. They've been so involved in this process. I don't think anybody else could have done it or even come close. But it's we're right there. We're right there. First time in thousands of years, I think you can probably say, if you really look into it, if you study back, if you're a scholar, you would say thousands of years. Israel.
You probably wouldn't say thousands of years if you're a scholar. That would be a bit mental.
Would have
say the conflict, the Israel-Palestine conflict lasted. Probably not.
I fall back into finish the job of destroying the threat of Hamas, but I hope that we're going to have a deal for peace. And if Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible, they're the only one left. Everyone else has accepted it. But I have a feeling that we're going to have a positive answer. But if not, as you know, Bibi, you'd have our full backing to do what you would have to do. Everyone understands that the ultimate result must be the elimination of any danger posed in the region, and that danger is caused by Hamas. The tyranny of terror has to end, and this is, again, something that we're looking for. This is eternity. This is for forever. To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it, the Board of Peace. Sort of a beautiful name, the Board of Peace, which will be
beautiful name, guys. Beautiful name.
Headed, not at my request, believe me, I'm very busy, but we have to make sure this works. The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States. That's what I want, is some extra work to do, but it's so important that I'm willing to do it, and we'll do it right, and we're going to put leaders from other countries on, and leaders that are very distinguished leaders, and we'll have a board, and one of the people that wants to be on the board is the UK former Prime Minister, Tony Blair, good man, very good man, and some others. And they'll be named over the next few days. And it'll be quite the board. Working, everybody wants to be on it now. I don't know if that had anything to do. They named me and everybody else wanted to be on it. I guess they figure, well, he's a soft touch. He'll be easy to deal with. Working with the World Bank and others, it will be responsible for recruiting and training a new government that will be made up of Palestinians, along with highly qualified experts from all around the world. Hamas and other terrorist factions will play no role in the
Where's Tony Blair?
Board.
Tony Blair.
But they'll play no role in the governance of Gaza at all.
Remember, big question here. Will the PA have any role? Because obviously Israel doesn't want them there. Netanyahu doesn't want them there. See if Trump has pushed any swaying. Maybe?
Directly or indirectly. As you know, thousands of Hamas leaders have been killed and soldiers have been killed. And we can never forget October 7th, but thousands have paid the price for that. And now it's time to get our hostages back and get back to trying to build something that's really great and very important. In our meeting today, Prime Minister Netanyahu was very clear about his opposition to a Palestinian state. And he continuously mentions October 7th, and I understand that. Most people do. And I understand and respect his position on many things, but what he's doing today is so good for Israel. I noticed that they have large crowds gathering in Israel all the time, and they have my name up. They like me for whatever reason, Bibi, I don't know, but they do like me.
I mean,
but they say
the right-wingers do. They love Trump. They're glazers.
Two things. please get the hostages back and please end the war. They've had it. It's had it. So I think it's a very popular thing you do because he's a warrior. He doesn't know about getting back to a normal way of life, but he is a warrior, and Israel's lucky to have him. But now the people want to get back to peace. They want to get back to normalization in a true sense. Several countries have foolishly recognized the Palestinian state. As you know, some of our European friends, allies, good people, but they're really, I think, doing that because they're very tired of what's going on for so many decades. They've been presidents and prime ministers for years, and during this time, having to do with the Middle East, all they're doing is talking about the same thing over and over. They want to see it get back. And nobody wants that more than me, or I believe Bibi too. But the people of Israel want it.
Bibi does not want the same thing as the people who are recognizing Palestine, but he might need to spend more time with those scholars. Trump.
They really want it. They want the hostages back. That includes the probably 32 bodies that we're talking about, 20 people that are living, 32 or so people that are dead, and they want to have peace. So let us not forget how we got here. Hamas was elected by the Palestinian people. Israel withdrew from Gaza thinking they would live in peace. Remember that a long time ago, they withdrew. They said, you take it. This is our contribution to peace. But that didn't work out. That didn't work out. It was the opposite of peace. They pulled away. They let them have it. And I never forgot that because I said, that doesn't sound like a good deal to me. As a real estate person, I mean, they gave up the ocean, right? Ron, they gave up the ocean. They said, who would do this deal? And it still didn't work out. They were very generous, actually. And they gave up the most magnificent piece of land in many ways in the Middle East. And they said, all we want to do now is have peace. And that request was not honored. Instead of building a better life for the Palestinians, Hamas diverted resources to build over 400 miles of tunnels and terror infrastructure, rocket production facilities, and hid their military command post.
Is he saying that Gaza was the best coastal? It's okay.
Post and launch sites in hospitals, schools, and mosques. So if you went after them, you'd be after them, and you wouldn't even realize you ended up knocking out a hospital or a school or a mosque.
You wouldn't even realize. I think they know that there's a mosque or a hospital or a school. I mean, you wouldn't even realize. That's the bit that you do realize.
That terrible thing, terrible way to have to fight. No fight is good, but that's a real bad one. So there are many Palestinians who wish...
Does he think the tunnels are on top of the hospitals? Is that what he thinks is happening? Like, you hit this tunnel, you even know there's a hospital buried underneath this tunnel. Like, what the fuck? Is that what he thinks is happening?
To live in peace, many. I've seen so many of them. And they have support. And I challenge the Palestinians to take responsibility for their destiny, because that's what we're giving them. We're giving them responsibility for their destiny, fully condemn and prohibit terrorism and earn their way to a brighter future. They don't want the life that they've had. They've had a rough life with Hamas. If the Palestinian Authority does not complete the reforms that I laid out in my vision for peace in 2020, they'll have only themselves to blame. We're giving them an amazing footprint, and they have amazing support from the leaders of the Arab world and the Muslim world, the great leaders. These are great leaders. These are unbelievable leaders that have built great countries and very wealthy countries. What the future holds for the Palestinians, no one really knows, but the plan that we put forward today is focused on ending the war immediately, getting all of our hostages back, getting everything back. Hard to believe when you even say it, and creating conditions for durable Israeli security and Palestinian success. Israeli security is going to be involved. We're going to help you. We'll be there with you in terms of helping with security. We want to make sure it works. We just want to make sure it works. There shouldn't be a shot fired. Now, there will be, I guess, because that's the way it seems to be, but they shouldn't have to be within a few days. They shouldn't have to be a shot fired. Maybe for eternity. Wouldn't that be nice? I hope it's true. I can tell you the leadership of that region feels that there's a good chance of it being true. So this will lead to this agreement that we're talking about will lead to a sustainable long-term peace. No president in history has been a greater friend of the state of Israel than I have, in addition to negotiating the Avraham Accords. I like to say it that way because the real people, that's what they call Abraham. I would say Abraham, but it's so much nicer when you say Abraham.
Oh my!
So much more elegant. But the Abraham Accords are amazing. Jared, you did that along with your group of geniuses, and nobody thought that could be done. We have 4 countries, and Sleepy Joe Biden didn't do a thing. He didn't even know what the hell they were.
Obviously.
He should have had them fold up. But
Still
I think this
fucking
will also
Biden derangement syndrome, eh? Still got to prove yourself against Biden. It's a good break from talking about fucking Obama, though. For sure.
lead to packing them. And who knows, maybe even Iran can get in there. I hope, we hope we're going to be able to get along with Iran. I think they're going to be open to it. I really believe that. But they could be a member. I long ago said, I'll bet you at some point Iran will be a member of the Accords. And little did I realize it was going to take this turn. That was some turn we did with the B-2s. But I think they might very well be there because it's a great thing for them economically. I recognize the eternal capital of Israel. I opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. That was something that everyone said would never be done, could never be done. Virtually every president for many, many years, for decades, would campaign on making Jerusalem the capital of Israel. They campaigned on it over and over. Is that right, Steve? Is that right? Everyone, and when they got to it, and I understand why now, because it was so, when I got to office, I campaigned on it too. I said, we're going to make it, and then I'd get calls from the leaders of various countries saying, please don't do it, please don't do it. It'll end the whole world, please don't do it. And finally, I just didn't say anything, and I did it. People were calling me before I did it because they heard I was going to do it, and leaders of countries were calling me, and I think it was on a Thursday that I did it, and they'd call me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3-4 times a day, and I said, tell them I'll call them back on Friday. And I announced it on Thursday, and
wow.
I called them back, the biggest people in the world, and they said, you've done it. I said, done what? You've made the capital of Israel, Jerusalem, and we wanted to talk yet. I wish you called me a little sooner. Maybe I could have done something about it. So that was a lot easier than getting into an argument because I knew what they were calling about. And you know what? It turned out to be amazing. Everybody thought it was going to lead to the end of the world, right? The end of the world, Ron. That's what they said. It didn't lead to anything. It just led to something that I promised and something that was very, very popular for Jewish people and a lot of other people, too. I recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and I cut taxpayer funding to the corrupt United Nations Relief and Works Agency. And United Nations was interesting because, as you know, a few days ago, they introduced me. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, I'm looking at my teleprompter, and the thing was dead, stone cold, dead. The thing's up here. I have a long, beautiful speech to make. I'm back 30 feet back, and I'm saying, they're introducing me. There's nothing on my teleprompter. So, but I made a speech. I actually got good marks. You think Biden could have done that? I don't think so. I don't think he could have done that. I don't think too many people could have done it. But actually, it was actually more of a speech from my heart, if you want to know the truth. I think it was maybe better in certain ways because it was from the heart. It has to be from the heart, otherwise you're in big trouble. But I cut taxpayer funding for that very corrupt United Nations Relief and Works Agency, and nobody thought that would be done, and withdrew from the horrible Iran nuclear deal that was imposed upon Israel by Barack Hussein Obama and Biden.
Don't forget Barack Hussein. We're not going to do Biden's full name, but don't forget there's a good old Hussein in that Obama name. Barack Hussein Obama, son of Kenya.
I don't think Biden knew anything about it.
Shit.
I don't think he knows anything about it now, actually, if you ask him. He'd say, what is that? And we obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity, making it impossible for them to have a nuclear weapon, which they would have had probably.
What is this?
Imagine supporting people who start wars just to lose the wars so they can cry about it and then try it all again.
You must see anti-Semites are literally obsessed with Jews. Now walk with me. While you must see anti-Semites are stacking eviction notices, Jews are out here stacking up businesses.
Jews control all the industries. Maybe if you spent more time taking notes from successful people, you wouldn't have to spend your nights and weekends spreading hate from your anonymous account with an anime profile picture.
Do you work as hard as Jews? Do you network like Jews? No, because you're too busy cheering on a group of musty terrorists who...
Musty. What the fuck is... Okay, rage bait.
In about 2 months from
You guys, I hope you enjoyed that little rage bait, okay? I hope you guys are feeling good and fucking molding now.
But I've never asked Israel to compromise its security, but we had big, strong talk. Nobody's been better to Israel. No president's been better to Israel than Donald Trump. But we had a long, strong talk, Bibi and I, and he understands it's time. It's time. History has shown. And the people of Israel want it. And the people of the Middle East want it. The people of enemies of Israel want it. But they don't have really too many enemies right now. And you know what? Many countries have gained great respect for Israel, for the way they fight, for the job they do, including me. I had respect anyway, but they gained respect. History has shown us that those who have relations with Israel have thrived, while those who have devoted resources and attention toward the destruction and even annihilation of Israel have languished. They haven't done well. Israel is not going anywhere. They're going to coexist with other people and countries in the region, from Syria to Lebanon to Saudi Arabia. The promise of a new Middle East is so clearly within our reach. This is the closest we've ever come to real peace, not fake peace, not political fool's peace. If we can get this difficult problem solved, the opportunities for all within that vast region of this world. It's a vast region. It's unlimited. The Avraham Accords show that all countries are better off when they communicate and work together and embrace new opportunities. I hope Jared and Steve and Susie and Marco and JD, we have great people. I hope you guys are going to work very hard to get these other countries in, because now they have no excuse. There's no longer an excuse. They were somewhere hesitant. And I tell you, the 4 countries that went in, I give them tremendous credit. And it's worked out incredibly well for them. In the same spirit, I'm pleased to report that earlier today, we took another important step toward greater understanding of the region. A short time ago, we had a historic phone call in the Oval Office with Prime Minister Tani, who's really a great person. So we had a great talk, and I was on the phone, and Bibi was talking. Prime Minister Al-Thani was of Qatar, was... They really had a heart-to-heart conversation. It was a great conversation, I thought. It was productive. It was everything that you need to have something turn out to be successful. And I want to thank Bibi, and I want to thank the Prime Minister. It was fantastic. We agreed to launch a formal trilateral mechanism between Israel, Qatar, and the United States to begin a dialogue to enhance mutual security, correct misperceptions, and avoid future misgivings. And I want to thank Qatar, its leadership, and the Emir. He's fantastic person. I think, I'm going to be his public relations man, because I know him differently than a lot of people know him. But he wants peace. He wants to see peace. And his people, and they really acknowledge the critical role that they played as mediator. And again, we're not quite finished. We have to get Hamas, but I think they're going to be able to do that. So now it's time for Hamas to accept the terms of the plan that we've put forward today. And again, this is a different Hamas than we were dealing with, because I guess over 20,000 have been killed. Their leadership has been killed 3 times over. So you're really dealing with different people than we've been dealing with over the last 4 years, 5 years. Everyone has done their part and come to the table in good faith. Our Arab and Muslim partners are fully prepared to step up and fulfill their commitments for the benefit of the people of Gaza and the entire region. They're willing to step up and do a lot. They really are. There are a lot of good people involved. Everybody who wants to see an end to the violence and destruction should be united in calling for Hamas to accept the extremely fair proposal, so that we can end the war and get us back our hostages right now and have everlasting peace. And I look forward to having relationships with everyone. As the chairman of the board, I'll be involved, and we'll have meetings with some very smart people that'll be working over there to make sure that we haven't just been wasting time with an agreement that doesn't get done. The task of building peace will not be easy, They're some of the hardest problems in the world to solve, and that's why it's been going on for so many centuries. But too many lives are at stake not to try, and this was more than a try. I mean, I think this is something that gets done when you have virtually every country, and these are powerful, powerful countries that have a lot of money, and the money can make things happen. A lot of countries try, and they don't have any money. These are very rich countries that can make things happen. So together we'll forge a much safer and more hopeful future for everybody, including Israel. And I want to thank Prime Minister Netanyahu for his partnership, and I want to thank all of the leaders, the kings and the emirs and the presidents and prime ministers, people I mentioned. And they've been absolutely fantastic to work with, and it's just happened very quickly. It's happened from a couple of weeks before I had a couple of meetings, but a couple of weeks before we went to the United Nations, and we had some incredible meetings. It all came to place. It all took place, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. I don't have anybody that's saying we don't want anything to do with it. It's just the opposite. And I'll tell you, a couple of years ago, a year ago, I don't think we would have had this kind of participation, Mr. VP, right? I don't think we would have had. It's been amazing. The participation was 100%. Everybody wants to be a part of it. And everybody, those very strong countries, everybody wants it to work. So, Bibi, congratulations on this. I think this will be your crowning achievement, frankly. If this all works out, we think it will. It's going to be your crowning achievement. And I want to thank you very much for being here. Thank you, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. President, first I want to thank you for graciously hosting me once again in the White House. And second, I want to thank you for your...
Oh, God, we're going to get the memes. We're going to get the fucking memes.
For your friendship and for your leadership. From Jerusalem to Tehran, from the Golan Heights to Gaza, you've proven time and again what I've said many times. You are the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House. And Mr. President, you and I both know.
Fuck me, man.
It's not even close.
Bro,
While you focus
fucking hates you, baby. Like, God.
At home on making America great again, your leadership abroad is changing the world for the better.
Let's get
ending
glugging.
wars and advancing peace. I believe that today we're taking a critical step towards both ending the war in Gaza and setting the stage for dramatically advancing peace in the Middle East. And I think beyond the Middle East, in very important Muslim countries. I support your plan to end the war in Gaza, which achieves our war aims. It will bring back to Israel all our hostages, dismantle Hamas's military capabilities, end its political rule, and ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel. We would not have achieved this turning point without the courage and sacrifice of our incredibly brave soldiers. They fight like lions to defend the people of Israel, and they serve on the front line in the war between civilization and barbarism.
Whoa.
Mr. President, when our two countries stand shoulder to shoulder, we achieve the impossible. Just a few months ago,
He's good at enunciating with his mouth full. I suppose he is.
Operation Rising Lion and Operation Midnight Hammer, we struck a decisive blow against Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile program. Your bold decision to send those B-2s made the region safer and the world safer.
He's playing the Trump game so well, though, isn't he? Because like this is what Trump wants. He just wants to get fucking stroked. Yeah, fuck me, man. Obviously, a lot of the Gulf leaders can do this quite effectively as well. Like, don't lecture him. Don't ask for anything more. Like, yeah, just glaze. But it works. It works very well.
Now, under your leadership, we're taking the next step to win the war and expand the peace. Your plan is consistent with the 5 principles my government set for the end of the war and the day after Hamas. Everybody asks, what is your plan for the day after Hamas? Here's our plan. Pass it in the cabinet. All our hostages, both those who are alive and those who died, all of them will return home immediately. Hamas will be disarmed. Gaza will be demilitarized. Israel will retain security responsibility, including a security perimeter for the foreseeable future. And lastly, Gaza will have a peaceful civilian administration that is run neither by Hamas nor by the Palestinian Authority.
Uh-oh.
If Hamas agrees to your plan...
So getting the Gulf states and the other, the Arab League countries to agree to that is like just not happening, is it? They're just not going to do that.
And, Mr. President, the first step will be a modest withdrawal, followed by the release of all our hostages within 72 hours. The next step will be the establishment of an international body charged with fully disarming Hamas and demilitarizing Gaza.
Tony Blair.
I appreciate your willingness to lead the body, Mr. President. I really appreciate it because you have a lot of things to do, and this is important. And it reflects the confidence that this will give everyone, that things will be followed up on all the commitments made. The fact that you're taking this on, I think, helps a lot to make sure that everything flows in the direction that we want. Now, if this international body succeeds, we will have permanently ended the war. Israel will conduct further withdrawals linked to the extent of disarmament and demilitarization, but will remain in the security perimeter for the foreseeable future. I think we should understand that we're giving everybody a chance to have this done peacefully.
Out of interest, so Israel and Trump have obviously agreed to this plan. The UAE seems to have done it. Who else has said? So the UAE has accepted not having the PA in Gaza. But wait. What is this? This is saying it envisions a reformed Palestinian Authority eventually governing a redeveloped Gaza. This is before the plan was fully unveiled, though. Where is the full... Fuck. Gimme. Let's just use this, Yashar Ali. So, Gaza will be a de-radicalized, terror-free zone, does not pose a threat to its neighbors, redeveloped for the benefit, okay? Both sides agree. If both sides agree, the war will immediately end. During this time, military operations, including aerial and artillery bombardment, will be suspended, battle lines frozen until conditions are met for the complete staged withdrawal. Hostages return within 72 hours, okay. Israel will release life sentence prisoners plus 1,700 Gazans who were detained after October 7th. Hamas members who commit to peaceful coexistence to decommission their weapons will be given amnesty. Ooh. Obama. Members of Hamas who wish to leave Gaza will be provided safe passage to receiving countries. Upon acceptance, full aid will be immediately sent to the Gaza Strip. Entry of distribution and aid in the Gaza Strip will proceed without interference from the two parties to the UN. They will open Rafah in both directions. Oh, can someone answer this question for me? After 2007, who controlled what comes into Gaza through Rafah? Because there's a Wikipedia entry that says Egypt controls the crossing, but Israel controls what enters and exits in terms of aid. But I haven't seen any paperwork proving that, any documents or anything. So if anyone can tell me the answer to that, like a definitive answer to who controlled what went into Gaza. Don't just say in fucking chat, give me a link or tell me which document it's in. Go away. Will be governed by the temporary transitional governance of a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee responsible for the day-to-day running of public services and municipalities. Okay. This committee will be made up of qualified Palestinians and international experts. Okay, he said that in his speech. The Board of Peace will be headed and chaired by Trump. Hey! With other members of heads of state to be announced, including former Prime Minister Tony Blair. This body will set the framework and handling the funding for the redevelopment of Gaza until such time as the Palestinian Authority has completed its reform program. Interesting. As outlined in various proposals, including Trump's peace plan in 2020 and the Saudi-French proposal, and can securely and effectively take back control of Gaza. This body will call on best international standards to create modern and efficient governance that serves the people of Gaza and is conducive to attracting investment. Okay. Convening panel of experts. Okay. Special economic zone with preferred tariff and access rates. Okay. No one will be forced to leave, and those who wish to leave will be free to do so and free to return. So when Netanyahu says neither, he's talking about now, not down the line. Hamas and other factions agree to not have any role in the governance, directly, indirectly, or in any form. All military terror and defensive infrastructure will be destroyed and not rebuilt. Demilitarization, supervision, independent monitors, okay. New Gaza will be fully committed to building a prosperous economy. Okay. United States works with Arab and international partners to develop a temporary international stabilization force called the ISF, which just happens to have the same name as the Israeli security forces. Okay, well done. Good. You should probably pick a different name, right? Details, but I mean, Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza. As the ISF establishes control and stability, the IDF will withdraw based on standards, milestones, and timeframes linked to demilitarization that will be agreed upon between the IDF, ISF, the guarantors, the United States, with the objective of a secure Gaza that no longer poses a threat to Israel, Egypt, or its citizens. Yeah, they mentioned Egypt. Maybe. Practically, the IDF will progressively hand over Gaza territory it occupies to the ISF according to an agreement. Okay. In the event that Hamas delays or rejects this proposal, the above, including the scaled-up operation, will proceed in the terror-free areas. Oh, really? If Hamas rejects, they're going to move through with it anyway in occupied areas. That's kind of what I've been pushing for the last year. I don't know why they haven't been doing this already. That seems like that would have been a really good idea. No? But okay. Interfaith dialogue. While Gaza redevelopment advances and when the PA reform program is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place, for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the So Bibi's agreed to this, but I guess he's agreeing for the sake that he can disagree to it later. Or maybe he just believes that it will be so fucking scuffed that they'll just never get to this stage. Maybe. How do you do hostage return in terror-free areas? Well, you don't. That's why terror-free areas would be side by side with Hamas holding hostages. Like they would still hold their hostages in the areas that they control, but in the meantime, the areas that are cleared of Hamas can be subject to rebuilding and handing over to this ISF.
And I'm guessing Israel's operations continue in the Hamas-controlled areas?
Yeah. That's what they're saying, and that makes sense.
Does make sense. Unfortunately, I do not believe that scum of the earth for one moment. I'm pretty sure he's gonna fucking find a way to botch something that would not allow Palestinians to have a state.
Well, of course he will, but that's the problem is that, like, I think Israeli right-wingers, if they are actually confronted with a reformed PA that's ready to govern and not fight with Israel, then Netanyahu is fucked.
Question. Have you watched the Abbas
No.
speech yet?
No.
I've watched part of it, and I had to go to work afterwards, and I couldn't finish it. But from everything he said, he basically said everything Israelis have been wanting him to say for like the past, I don't know, fucking like 100 years.
Yeah. I mean, I saw
like-
that he shafted fucking Hamas, but yeah.
Oh yeah, he said Hamas needs to be gone. They can't be a part of governing. And he said hostages need to return. He basically said everything people need him to say. And people apparently were mad about the fact he was wearing, you know, those the yellow ribbon that Israelis wear for the hostages. He was wearing a key.
Okay.
Which is, you know what that signifies, right?
Yeah, right of return, yeah.
Well, not necessarily right of return. It's like, stolen houses, like rightful owners.
It means right of
etc.
return, but yeah.
Yeah.
I got you, yeah.
But
Refugees.
no, fucking, there's several emblems that mean right of return.
Yeah, but why do you keep the key?
Those are called.
Never mind,
Because
go on.
it's like a sign. Why are people wearing multiple fucking emblems of the dog tag and the yellow ribbon and whatnot?
Well, because they want the IDF to blast the shit out of Hamas to get the hostages back. Apparently, they think it's together.
Well, he wants a Palestinian state. That's what it means, okay? Anyway, he basically said everything he needed to say, and Israelis were upset about the fucking key, or some Israelis at least were upset about the key.
Okay.
So, I think he's heading in the right direction. I just think he's gonna die before he gets there.
Okay.
So, you should still watch the speech. Maybe you have critiques of it, maybe not.
Yeah, send it to me.
Just search you and Abbas speech.
Was this from? It was from a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
like a few
okay.
days
Yeah,
ago.
I know where it is. Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, chat.
Okay, but the key is a symbol that represents the right of return. Don't say that. While Gaza redevelopment advances and when the PA reform program is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspirations of the Palestinian people. United States will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on political horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. Okay.
Something that will achieve all our war objectives without any further bloodshed. But if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, or if they supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself. This can be done
Whoa.
the easy way, or it can be done the hard way. But it will be done. We prefer the easy way, but it has to be done. All these goals must be achieved because we didn't fight this horrible fight, sacrifice the finest of our young men to have Hamas stay in Gaza and threaten us again and again and again with these horrific massacres. Mr. President, I was encouraged by your clear statement at the UN against the recognition of a Palestinian state. That would be an outcome that, after October 7th, would reward terrorists, undermine security, and endanger Israel's very existence. As for the Palestinian Authority, I appreciate your firm position that the PA could have no role whatsoever in Gaza without undergoing a radical and genuine transformation. In your 2020 peace plan, which you mentioned just now, you made clear what that transformation requires. It's not lip service. It's not checking a box. It's a fundamental, genuine, and enduring transformation. And that means ending pay to slay, changing the poisonous textbooks that teach hatred to Jews, to Palestinian
Poisonous.
children,
Whoa.
stopping incitement in the media, ending lawfare against Israel at the ICC, the ICJ, recognizing the Jewish state, and many, many other reforms. It won't come as a surprise to you that the vast majority of Israelis have no faith that the PA Leopard will change its spots. But rather than wait for this miraculous transformation, your plan provides a practical and realistic path forward for Gaza in the coming years, in which Gaza will be administered neither by Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority, but by those committed to a genuine peace with Israel. I think this can be not only a new beginning for Gaza, I think it can be a new beginning for the entire region. Under your leadership, we can re-energize, well, I've got to contribute my own, we can re-energize the Avraham Accords. That's what it's called in the original Hebrew. Avraham. Abraham is fine. Abraham, however you want to
Wow,
call
he's
it.
picking up off Trump's joke, and Trump's so happy. Look at him, he's creaming. He's like, in his head, he's sitting there like, oh yeah, Bibi, he noticed my joke. Yeah, and I was referencing my joke. He's like plagiarizing, yeah, but in a nice way. And a dick sucking, yes. He's doing it, he's playing the Trump, he's so gleeful. His joke was recognized by another world leader.
Under your leadership, Mr. President, we can re-energize the Abraham Accords that we forged 5 years ago. We can expand them
He's so
to
happy.
many more
He's so
Arab
happy.
and Muslim nations that choose moderation over extremism. I think there's an opportunity here. It's not going to be easy, it's tough going, but I think if we succeed, you're absolutely right. We're going to open possibilities that nobody even dreamed of. But I think we dream of them. As you've told me, Mr. President, and you've told the world many, many times, you said, remember October 7th. Remember October 7th. And we do. We will never forget the horrors of October 7th, and we will do whatever is necessary to make sure they don't happen again. Since October 7th, Israel's enemies have learned a hard truth. Those who attack us pay a heavy price, but those who partner with us advance progress and security for their peoples. President Trump just said it. It's also in the Bible. It says, those who will bless you will be blessed, and those who will curse you will be cursed. And that's actually what is happening. We want the blessings. I think we've done a lot in the past 2 years to end the curse. We're not finished, but we've done a lot. And we've done a lot together to end the curse. I want to thank your entire team for their efforts to get to this point. I especially want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for their indefatigable work to bring Israel and Arab states in the region closer together. I'm deeply grateful to both of them for their work. We had a phone call today just to make it clear. I said to the Prime Minister of Qatar, Israel was targeting terrorists. It wasn't targeting Qatar. And of course, we regretted the loss of the Qatari citizens. It wasn't our target.
Oh, there was a police officer, wasn't there? That's a real fuck, yeah. If you're going to strike a country that you've never struck before, regardless of whatever, like, you know, harboring Hamas and allowing them to call for a third intifada every other fucking week, like, yeah, I get that. But at the end of the day, if you're going to hit like a country that is also involved in negotiation with you, like, you do have to. And also, this is after Qatar has told Hamas to give up, right? This is after they condemned Hamas and told them to give up and told them to accept demands, albeit with the PA involvement. Yeah, you can't be fucking hitting Qatari citizens and shit. It's fucking crazy.
And I very much appreciate President Trump's proposal to have a trilateral body, the United States, Israel, and Qatar, to work out respective grievances. There are quite a few. But if we could try to mitigate them or put it on a different footing, I think that would be good for everyone. Above all the people, fine team, and many helpers who've done this, I want to thank you, Mr. President. History has already shown that under your leadership, Israel and America can change the face of the Middle East. And today I'm hopeful that your plan to end the war in Gaza will do so again and do so soon. It will free our hostages, end Hamas's tyranny in Gaza, and enable a more secure and prosperous future for the peoples of our region. Thank you, Mr. President. May God bless America. May God bless Israel. May God bless the indispensable alliance between our countries. And may I add, in Hebrew, G'mal Chatima Tova, may we all be inscribed in the book of life. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much, Bibi. So I think while we wait for these documents to be signed and get everybody in line, I think it maybe is not really appropriate to take questions. I'm meeting with, as you know, a couple of Democrats in a little while about the country, about keeping our country open. They're going to have to do some things because their ideas are not.
Okay, well, this is Axios from 5 days ago. Trump's Gaza peace plan gets support from regional leaders. It was attended by officials from Saudi, UAE, Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, Indonesia, Pakistan. The Arab leaders presented Trump with several conditions. And yeah, it does seem the status quo at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, because this is to do with Ben Gvir and his fucking cronies, his droogs bouncing around on top of the Haram al-Sharif, right? Increase to humanitarian aid. No settlements. Well, that goes under occupation and annexation in Gaza. No occupation, no annexation, or even West Bank. Sisi supported the plan. Leaders of 7. I mean, if it's something that... So we've got Israel, America, and 7 Arab countries, including Jordan and Egypt. I mean... Bro, the ball's in one court now, isn't it? Does this seem like an important moment? This is what should have happened on fucking day 8 of the war. Like, I cannot fucking believe it took so long for every country to agree on something like that. It didn't take long, even in fucking Beirut. When Beirut was under siege, it took it's like a month or 2? Was it maybe 2 months? For the Arab League and America and Europe, and like France and Italy and the United Kingdom and Israel to agree on the evacuation of the PLO and not like raising the entire fucking city. But I guess people just held out a bit longer on this one. Israel's got worse leaders. I mean, which is saying something, because the leaders in 82 was like fucking Begin and Sharon, like literal fucking terrorists and war criminals. Bro.
They also didn't say anything about the West Bank.
Well, the Arab leader said not annexing the West Bank, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, but that still means settlement expansion.
Oh yeah, they're being whatever you call it, conservative, because they want to end the war. Yeah.
Do you think negotiations later are going to happen revolving the West Bank?
I have no idea.
Because here we have 1 year left of this government, and I am 100% sure they're going to push so much more for to make settlements are way harder to remove.
Mm-hmm.
They're also building settlements that are much not building, but expanded settlements that are deeper rather than the ones on the green line.
Yeah. It's hard because this is obviously the deal is about Gaza, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you force Israel to stop with settlements in the West Bank. I mean, maybe PA reform can just make it harder to defend, and that can go from there. I don't know.
It's already harder to defend. Palestinians can barely move.
Mm-hmm.
They've imposed they've imposed more checkpoints in the West Bank. I think it was more than 30 or 40 more.
Yeah, but I mean, because at the end of the day, the only people who are going to start dismantling those settlements and pulling them out, or even just stopping them, is going to be an Israeli left government. And the only way you get an Israeli left government is if you have a leadership in Palestine that can convince the Israeli population that they actually want to stop all this shit. Right?
I think Israeli population is brain broken after October 7th. I don't think they're ever gonna it's gonna take fucking decades.
No, it doesn't necessarily take decades. Wars end and rebuilding takes place and agreements get made fairly quickly sometimes. I don't know. Maybe you're right, but I mean, Netanyahu has still got domestic issues at home. He still has, obviously, at home, domestic. And if they can really actually have a situation where there's no more Hamas, and when there is a PA that's reforming, like people like Yair Golan and people who are Israeli left are going to have a much easier time actually making their case. It's going to be much easier if that's the status quo or the growing status quo in Palestine. As soon as right wingers can't use fear, then they run out.
But most of the time they refer to fear, it's usually also just the past, not necessarily something recent. Like whenever right wingers talk about like security and all, they refer like to the fucking like biggest thing that happened. Not like they're not gonna talk about like, oh, the past like year there's no terror attacks. They're gonna talk about like what October 7th happened.
I mean, Israel was doing stuff with West Germany like 7 years after the Holocaust. Okay, just saying, the Jewish state and all the Holocaust survivors going.
But they were a lot more desperate back then.
Well, no, they. What do you mean they were desperate? Like they.
Israel was a lot more desperate to like seek allyship. Like back then. Wouldn't you say so? Like, I would say so.
Do you not think Israelis, at least some of them, are more desperate to get Western approval back again, at least from the leaderships?
Maybe not this current government.
No, not the government, the people.
The people? I think this government has played a big role in making the people also think that you cannot trust the Western governments to have your back.
Okay.
Listen, I could be wrong. It's very possible. You can only know with polls.
Well, okay. I'm going to get back to the speech.
Yeah. Tell me. You ethnically cleansed me earlier, and you're doing it again.
Every time. All right. Take care, buddy.
Dirty Lebanese person.
Very good ones are very bad for our country. So we'll see how that works out. But this is something that was really historic today. This was something that was amazing. I think, Bibi, I mean, depending on you.
Blackpilled, don't listen to him. Well, to be clear, Dante, my position that he's blackpilled on is the idea that Israelis can change and become more left-leaning. Tel Aviv stock market in response to this, what? That says war economy and shit.
I think while we're waiting for signatures and waiting for approvals from a lot of different countries that are involved in this, we probably shouldn't take questions. Or would you like to take a question or two from perhaps a friendly Israeli reporter? If there's
That's a very, very tough proposition. But I would think, Mr. President, that I would go by your instinct that this is. We'll have enough time for questions. Let's settle the issue first, I think.
Thank you very much.
What a fucking strategy. Oh, excuse me. Listen, you want to, what, me, the interview dodger, me, the guy who doesn't talk to fucking anyone unless they agree to suck my fucking knob, or are podcasters who will also be nice to me.
Thank you.
These fucking screeching parakeet journalists. No chance. Not in this regime. Get fucked. Free speech. Transparency. Fuck off. No. Let's do all the things first, then we can take questions. Subscribe, you fucking assholes. I mean, sorry. Well, Hamas leaders commented. What did they say? Respond, Trump plan. They're going to say, no, the weapons are international law. We got a right to fire rockets at fucking farms. Okay, let's see. I need Telegram. That's what I need to find out what Hamas are saying. There's not going to be anything on Al-Qassam, is there? They are usually later with their updates. Not military communiques. Give me the fucking news, buddy. They said they weren't presented with anything. Based? Okay. This is Al-Qassam update yesterday. We continue to confront the Zionist forces advancing along several fronts in the Gaza Strip. The offensive has so far resulted in the deaths of hundreds of enemy officers and soldiers. Okay. Wounding tens of thousands. Oh, they mean the entire... Okay, I thought they just meant like the Gaza City offensive. I was like, that's a pretty high death toll. Continuing their fierce clashes with enemy soldiers and vehicles using explosive devices, anti-tank, anti-personnel shells, pounding enemy gatherings with shells and missiles. Military media published scenes of our Mujahideen's raid on the newly established enemy site southeast of Khan Yunis city, which was carried out by the Qassam men on the 20th of August. Oh, it's Mardawi saying it. Okay, okay. Yo. Mardawi, Al Jazeera, Trump plan, Ynet. Okay, let's see. From 3 minutes ago. We need the memory clips. The memory clips won't be out until tomorrow, though. Senior Hamas official Mahmoud Mardawi said in an interview with Qatari television channel Al Jazeera that Trump's plan has not reached Hamas or any Palestinian entity so far. Its provisions are close to the Israeli position. They are very close. According to him, what happened is an attempt to stifle international momentum and recognition of a Palestinian state. We will not accept any proposal that does not include determining the fate of the Palestinian people. Well, they are big mad. He big mad. That's so surprising. I thought Hamas would disarm and choose peace. Who knows? Fuck that. Fuck that. Boring. What? Did Qatar agree to it? My understanding is yes. Let me double check. Let's double check that. It's this. Qatar informed Trump that they would be able to persuade Hamas to disarm and accept Trump's 21-point peace plan for Gaza. Sky News Arabia. Capable of persuading Hamas. Yeah, I believe Qatar, well, obviously they would support it if they said that. They said it was 7 countries. So Pakistan, was it Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, UAE, and some other fucking losers. Bahrain. I don't know. So demilitarized is being headed by who? An international force of local and regional experts. Trump, Tony Blair. Not even joking. All those ones. Those were commas. Oh, look. Another obviously fake peace deal from the guy who said the US is going to own Gaza and build hotels and casinos on the beach. I wonder if Israel will just proclaim that Hamas violated the deal no matter what they do and go right back to the genocide with the support of the Epstein blackmailed and corrupted by the Israeli lobby fat war criminal president. Like Hamas literally, they've just said they're not up for it. Why would they be? Why would they be up for a plan like that? Whatever. Look at my media, bro. Oh, Article 70 question. Okay, we're still learning. Okay, we're still mixing in our IHL bullshit. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's see. Gaza war claims. Additional commentary. Sorry, I was being so mean there. What the fuck? Okay. Holy shit. This is an almost 10,000 word notes document now. Amazing. Okay. Give me the commentary. 2797. What does this mean? Relief actions are to be undertaken, are defined as being humanitarian and impartial in character, conducted without any adverse distinction. In other words, any action which does not comply with these criteria, which were taken from the 73 draft, would not be covered by Article 70. However, as in the case of relief actions intended for occupied territories, it's obviously essential not to use these conditions as a pretext to avoid accepting relief actions. What do you mean? Like this is saying that if it's diverted or if it's not impartial, then it's not covered by Article 70. Maybe? But then what's the point in putting this in? Oh, because the statements against Article 23 come afterwards, maybe. Statement about relief actions as humanitarian and impartial character suggests aid which isn't such. Did Hamas already announce that they won't accept this? Well, one of them has, yeah. Seems so. It's very obvious that they wouldn't. Because again, Trump said that he was excited that Hamas agreed, but then the article said Hamas agrees in principle. They always agree in principle, but they don't want to give up their weapons. I don't know why. I don't know why fucking people are trying to troll me about this idea that they're fucking suggesting anything other than they keep all their weapons. Like, it's just, oh God. They love those weapons. They think those weapons are their legal right and moral right. It's double right. Okay. Isn't Syria wouldn't be covered by Article 70. Okay. Chat, there's a new super chat goal that's not been fed yet. What's wrong with you guys? Where's my contributions? We just looked at the big old peace plan, read it, and spoke about it. We did commentary and everything. It's crazy. Where the fuck are you guys? What? Would Hamas double cross Qatar and keep on fighting? Qatar has for months now, condemned October 7th and tried to persuade Hamas to take a deal that involves disarmament, no governance, and some of their leadership in Gaza going into exile. Qatar has already owned this position along with the rest of the Arab League, basically. Yeah, they all signed a letter together saying all of that stuff. So Qatar and Hamas are already at odds. Like, it's just Qatar keeps saying, yeah, we can persuade them to change their minds. How hard they're trying, I have no idea. I would have thought Qatar could just like arrest the Hamas guys and then just let the leadership in Gaza decide, because I feel like the leadership in Gaza would be much more willing, would have much more of a reason to chill before the ones living in hotels would, you know, because it's easier for people on the other side of the world to encourage people to keep fighting when it doesn't affect them, right? But who knows? Yeah, Qatar can fix them, you know. That's the gist. Everyone to turn on Hamas, but Hamas doesn't see it as their own failure. Not everyone has turned on Hamas, I guess. Obviously, Iran hasn't. I don't believe Lebanon and Syria have signed off on this deal. So, you know, they have some mates or people who are not fully shitting on them. Okay. Has Mike from PA signed off on it? Good one. That's a really good question. Very funny. I like you. No, stop. Stop! I don't want Hassan's commentary on this, actually. Is that okay? Just a 5-second rule. Wait. Let's just see how long it takes him to say something stupid, shall we? Wait, can you get this like as a collapsible thing? Okay.
Hamas rejects the deal. Bibi, you have our full backing to do what you would have to do in Gaza, which is, again, what Bibi has been doing anyway. Okay? And here are some of the moments from the presser summarized here on Sky News.
To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it.
That's not
the
fair
Board
if he's
of
getting
Peace.
out of his
Sort of
chair,
a beautiful name, the Board of Peace, which will be
the BOP
headed not at my request, believe me, I'm very busy, but we have to make sure this works. The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States. That's what I want. Is
okay, the fucking chair time is not fair. Fuck off. The
it's-
chair time's not fair. You can't say something stupid if you're not in the chair. Okay, good. What? You got me. You got me, sir. You got me. That is a very, very good strategy. Stop the count.